tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. I was just wondering what kind of topic that you might be interested to know. As I understand, your group, the Happy Meditation Club, is it?
Yes, Bhante.
So, because earlier on, Buddha also told me sometimes different combination of people who just come. So I think it is good you start. If you have any question, we have a question answer session. It might be good. If not, then maybe I ask you a few questions before I start. So which is better? You ask first? Or I ask first? Because I'm new with this group. Okay, if that's the case, I ask first. What is the purpose the Buddha appeared in the world? For what purpose? Simple question, very easy to answer. For what purpose? What made you think that the Bodhisattva came down from Tusita heaven and chose to the right time to strive for enlightenment in human world? What purpose? Anybody? No? Okay. For what purpose?
I try.
Okay, yeah, sure, very good.
Eradicate suffering.
For whom? For himself?
Yeah, for
For
centipedes.
Yes, correct. For himself and for others as well. Of course, he was almost perfect before when he came down, because he has fulfilled all the parami to be a Sambuddha. But he needed the last mile, so to speak, he reached completely. And also, he could have attained arahantship enlightenment during the Maṅgala Buddha's time, but he did somehow. He decided that to fulfill the parami for long journey for Asankhya Kalpas, 100,000 Kalpas, for to attain Sambuddhahood. He could have attained arahantship easily at that time. So for the eradication of suffering, causes of suffering as well, for himself and for others. Mainly for others actually. He could have done it himself already. So what is the purpose, brothers and sisters, that you come to learn Dhamma? What is your purpose? Everyone come with different reasons sometimes, right? Actually, it's fact, during the Buddha's time, people came to Dhamma for various reasons. Some because life is too hard there, they need food, but now you are not lacking in food, I'm sure. But those days, people came.
Is it recorded? It's okay.
Okay.
Sorry about it.
Okay, no problem. So, but during the Buddha's time, people came to the Dhamma, people became monk and nun for various reasons. But at the end of the day, at the end of their practice, eventually many people, despite of their various reasons for coming to Dhamma, they became Arahant because of meeting the Buddha. One monk who came because he thought, as a monk can get food easily, good food. And I work so hard, I don't even get those food. So he became a monk, But later he realized, after listening to the Dhamma, he switched his intention, and he became an Arahant. And then he practiced accordingly, and he became Arahant. And there are few monks who came because they wanted to steal the Dhamma. What is this Dhamma taught by the Buddha? So they thought, they want to learn. One, he wanted to know the skill, because the Buddha, he was very good in knowing where the person is reborn by touching the skull of a skeleton, the skull. And then, but the Buddha gave him the skull of an Arahant. Arahant, he just couldn't know where this person can reborn, because Arahant no more reborn. So at the end, the Buddha said, you want to know? Okay, then I don't teach it to outsider. So he said, oh, okay. Then he told his people, wait for me 7 days. Then I'm sure he was very confident, he was very smart. He said, he want to know the skills of the Buddha, how to know where this person can reborn. And after that, he will go back to them and lead his team, But at the end of 7 days, the Buddha taught him Sila, Samadhi, Panya, and he became Arahant. No more going back. So you see, people came with all the various reasons. It is okay. Sometimes I told people, I said, don't feel ashamed just because you come with a wrong reason. And don't shame people and look down on people just because they come for various reasons. Because during the Buddha's time, you can come for whatever reason you come. As long as once you come, you do your job. So sometimes I tell them, if you go to Alibaba's cave, whether you are chased by the tiger, you are tempted to go in, whatever reason, it doesn't matter. Or by mistake, you went to the Alibaba's cave, but there's a lot of treasure there. Once you go in, whatever reason go in, never mind. Take the treasure and come out. So now you come to the Dhamma. What is the treasure? The treasure is the opportunity to be free from suffering. This is a treasure. And eventually, making good use of this treasure, you will be liberated from suffering. So now, how you want to do it? Okay, our sister already said, for the eradication of suffering. So how you want to do it? Just now you heard Sila, Samadhi, Panya, right? Okay. So how? How it works? How it works? What is this thing called enlightenment? How it works? Why by getting enlightened a person can be free from suffering? How and why? Anybody want to share? What is the function of Sila? What is the key component in Sila? Cetana. Cetana. Is it Panatipata Veramani? Is Panatipata? If you kill, what is the thing that decides whether the crucial thing, whether we are killing or not killing? Of course, there are various reasons. You know the being is alive, and you perform the act, and that being actually die. These are the things. But the key is still in Cetana, intention. In one of the mental states, is the key intention for creating karma is actually Cetana. If you read the Sila section in the Visuddhimagga, it is also clearly stated. is Chetana. On our karma, whether it is action, body action, speech or mind, is also the Chetana, which decides whether we commit certain karma or not. So Chetana, even though it is sila, is supposed that people usually understand sila to be bodily action and speech, but the root is actually in the mind, Chetana, the intention. So, what is this sila? How it functions? If you can guard using the Chetana, good intention, regard our bodily action and speech, then we can prevent committing serious transgression. Because the gross one, Panatipata, Adinadana, Kamesu, Musavada, Surameraya, Majapamaratana. So these are the things the sila help us to overcome. And not only that, also sila involved. There's only varita sila. Sila because of abstention, abstinence from wrong things. And then charita sila, sila to fulfill certain duty, for example, duty to teachers, duty to father and mother, whatever duties which is required due to our position. There's a charita sila. This is often neglected. There's another sila actually also very much neglected. Is sutanta sila. The sila as given in the suttas, like Karnamata Sutta, Sako Ujuja, Sujuja, Suajuja, Samula, Antimani, Santu, Sakoja, Subaruja, etc. All the 15 qualities. And those 44 as mentioned in Sarika Sutta. But these are the sila that, if we observe, will be very important for us. In fact, my preceptor, once he told me, he said from his experience with yogis, he said from his experience with yogis, he noticed that the Sutanta Sila is more closer related to their meditation, like contentment, fullness of wishes. So if people are very greedy, lot of bad wishes to not easily satisfied, and people treat them and not upright, pride, all these things is very obstructing for the meditation practice. So this is something that people neglect. So sila actually covers very vast. Eventually boils down to how we regard ourselves and how we regard others. So not only the Vinaya Sila, which includes Varita and Charita, is also the Sutanta, virtues, not only the precepts but also the virtues. So these are the things that put our mind in a position whereby we can cultivate concentration. Okay, Sila, Samadhi, Panya, everybody knows. So why do we cultivate concentration? Because we need a bright mind to see reality. If without a mind which is bright, we are not able to see reality. What kind of reality we need to see? If you see the understanding partner or wisdom as given in Visuddhimagga, the path of purification. Have you seen that book? Anybody? Anybody have read Visuddhimagga? Well, I have seen it. A little bit. Okay. If you are keen to go far in the Dhamma, you should read. It is not an ordinary book. It is widely accepted in the Buddhist Theravada world as a very authentic. Because why? The Venerable Buddha Goswami who composed it is actually not something that he wrote. Most of the things contents inside he actually collect from the Tipitaka, and commentaries of commentary he collected. So he's not really a writer. He's not really a writer. He's someone who collect and put everything in order Silas in under the category of Sila, Samadhi, Panya, and 7 purification. So in that, he's explained, if you talk about understanding, he refers the understanding relevant for enlightenment is the understanding to see realities. When he describes the soil of understanding, he will describe ultimate reality. Anybody of you know Abhidhamma? You know Abhidhamma? What Abhidhamma is? Have you seen? Some, huh? Some. So he talks about consciousness, various mental states, and the rupa, materiality. And he said these are the things which is a soil for understanding. You need to understand deeply. Why is it so important to see these elements? The eye door, ear door, nose door, tongue door, body door, and then all the elements relevant, related to it, our materiality and reality. Because of not seeing ultimate reality, our mind hold on to things as mine, this is I am and myself. Because of these, all defilements, all causes of suffering, we create. We create all kind of causes of suffering. And if we create causes of suffering, we are bound to suffer. Because cause and effect. Sure, we cannot avoid suffering. We will suffer if we create causes of suffering. So, but what are the reasons why we create causes of suffering? Knowing that we don't want to suffer, we create causes of suffering. We create a lot, because not understanding truth. What truth? Full noble truth. Not understanding causes and effect. Not understanding dependent origination. Not understanding actually there is no self, which is we hold on to the illusion of self. For the sake of self, we do all the wrong things, and we suffer, and we cause other people to suffer, and we create things for future suffering. So the root of the world's problem, our problem and other people's problem and the world's problem, is actually lies in not seeing truth and reality. Otherwise, everyone loves himself or herself. Everyone. So if we love ourselves, why do we create causes of suffering? Because of not understanding only. Not understanding only. So this understanding, and we call wisdom, is necessary, is needed. And then in order to cultivate that wisdom, we need to have the penetration, at least first into the nature of suffering, then secondly to the nature, to the causes of suffering, which actually means our wisdom of dependent origination, paticca samuppada. The second noble truth. The second noble truth basically refers to paticca samuppada, cause and effect. When Venerable Sariputta, at that time he was called Upatissa, when he met Venerable Asaji, when he saw Venerable Asaji, oh, so mindful, this must be an arahant. Then he followed, then they asked who is your teacher? So, oh, my teacher is the Buddha. Venerable Asaji answered, okay, can you tell in brief the Buddha's teaching? And then Venerable Asaji recite this verse. Ye Dhamma hetu pabhava, te sam hetum tathagato aha, ke sanchayo nirodo, evam vadi mahasamano. Things that arise from cause, the Buddha declared the cause, and their cessation. This is the teaching of the great Tathagata. So, in this simple verse, actually, dependent origination is described in the briefest form. Everything that arises from a cause, the Buddha declared. And then also declare the cessation of this cause. What is so powerful about this verse? It tells about cause and effect. But for Venerable Sariputta, he heard about cause. He already knew everything because of a past parami he has practiced long ago. So all the practice against samatha and vipassana, he had practiced so many times, umpteen times in the past. So because of that, his mind was so ready, he just need a trigger about cost. And he became Sotapan. You know Sotapan? All of you know? First stage of sainthood, huh? And Sotapan is the one who will never be reborn in woeful realms. Never animal, never as ghost, never as asura, and never into hell. Will never be reborn in hell. And then he told when he went to his friend, Kodita, who is later known to be Maṅgala, and when Maṅgala saw him coming, he said, "Oh, my friend is so bright today, he must have seen the truth." And he asked him, he said, "Yes, he has seen the truth." And then Venerable Sariputta also recited this verse to him. Ye Dhamma hitu pabhava, te samhetum tathagato aha, te sanchayo nirodo eo varimaha samano. At the end of the verse, he became a Sotapan. So whenever Sariputta was sharper, when he heard half of the verse, he only heard about cost. He became Sotapan, and when Maṅgala heard about cause and cessation of causes, then he became not Arahant, Sotapan. So this is the things that people need to see, whether in brief or in thorough. Brief means, if you want to know in brief, that means you must have practiced a long time in the past. But if you someone like some people want to get rich, you go take a plow and go to the backyard and dig and come up with a jar of gold, then you get rich. But some people who don't get a jar of gold at the backyard, you just have to work hard and learn the way of how to earn money and get rich and how to invest. So similarly, for those who have parami, they heard this verse, they already get enlightened. But if we are not yet, then you have to learn the proper way to see, to realize ultimate realities and truth. So these are the things that we need to practice to see. The first noble truth, basically, ultimately refers to 5 aggregates of clinging, and then the second noble truth basically is dependent origination, paticca samuppada, which removes our doubt, removes all the wrong view. If in Brahmajala Sutta there are 62 types of wrong views, you cannot arise if you see dependent origination, and no wrong view can sustain in the knowledge of, in the awareness of dependent origination. And the doubt, about past, present and future, the 16 types of doubts will be removed. Then you get a purification of doubt. By seeing the first noble truth, you get a purification of view. And by seeing dependent origination, you get a purification of overcoming doubt, by overcoming doubt. So these are the purification necessary. So purification of virtue leads on to purification of consciousness, which is a concentration achievement. And then we move on to purification of view by seeing ultimate realities, and purification by overcoming doubt. When you see, you remove your doubt about rebirth, about the other world, about cause and effect, due to the realization of dependent origination. Okay, so far, can you follow? Everyone can follow? If cannot, please ask. I explain further. Or maybe I should use. I think I should not go too far, otherwise it will be too heavy for you. If I want to go further, I should use the projector and slideshow. Then it will be easier when you see the flow of things. Okay, this much. Any questions? What are you all doing? Meditation. Did this sister meditate?
Yes, every Sunday we have the meditation session.
Yes, okay. So everyone meditate, yeah? Everyone? Who hasn't attended any meditation retreat before? Please, anybody has never attended any meditation retreat before? No. Everyone has. Okay, very good. Okay, it's good. You all meditate to purify your mind, so that the mind is ready to to penetrate reality. This is very good. This is very good, meditators, because you see, to avoid all the evil, sabapapasa karma, avoid all the evil, kusalasa upasampada, do all the good, sachito, pariyarapana, etabuddhana sasa. Okay, so this one, these words, is very important. Purify. Many people think that religion is only about doing good, avoiding evil. But in the Buddha's teaching, we have one more duty to do: purify the mind. Why is it so important? Because without purifying the mind, there's no way we can uproot the defilements on the deeper level, unsaid level, latent tendency. So that's necessary. So, to uproot latent tendency, we are not going to overcome defilement just by superficial level. We have to see deep inside, so that there's no chance for defilements to arise. And how will it be no chance for defilements to arise? You must remove the root upon which the defilements arise, which is always, in the suttas you always see, whether Anatta Lakkhana Sutta or whatever sutta, the Buddha will always say, you need to see things, the reality as they really are, and that these things are not mine, not I, and not myself. Basically, is to remove the craving and the conceit and the wrong view. So like that. So in order to do that, if in the Anatta Lakkhana Sutta, the Buddha says, you have every rupa, materiality, whether it is past, future, present, internal, external, gross, subtle, superior, inferior, far or near. See them with right wisdom as they really are, that this is non-self, this is not mine, this is not I, this is not myself. And then whatever feelings, the feelings aggregates of clinging, and whatever feelings, whether past, future or present, internal, external, gross, subtle, superior, inferior, far or near, see them as they really are with wisdom, and yatha bhuta samapanyaya databha. Yatha bhuta means as they really are. Bhuta samapanyaya, samapanya, right wisdom, databha, seeing them, penetrating them. So you have to see them that as a not mine, not I, not myself. And whatever perception, sanya, whether it is past, future or present, internal or external, gross or subtle, superior or inferior, far or near, we are supposed to see them as they really are. And then whatever volitional formations, whether it is past, future or present, internal or external, gross or subtle, superior or inferior, far or near, you have to see them as they really are with right wisdom. That this is not mine, this is not I, this is not myself. And whatever consciousness, whether it is past, future or present, past consciousness, future consciousness, present consciousness, internal consciousness means your consciousness, external means other people's one, external, gross or subtle. Gross, there are many definitions, the gross and subtle, superior, inferior also, but basically it refers to wholesome and unwholesome. That and superior, inferior. Inferior is the unwholesome one, superior is a good one. There are various ways of classification. And far or near. Okay? You can read up this in Maṅgala, the wisdom section. You can read very details and telling you how it can be done by seeing the reality based on the soil of understanding. So all these five aggregates, materiality, feeling, perceptions, volitional formations, which includes all kinds of mental states except the feeling and perception. So basically 50 mental states, 50 cetasika, and then consciousness. Consciousness, we have 89 or 1-to-1 kind of classifications. Okay. So these are the things that we can help, we can develop our wisdom. Why is it so important? It is important because once you see these realities and their causes, then the illusion of this is my, I and myself can be shattered. So there are 3 types of compactness about materiality, 4 types of compactness about mentality can be overcome. And because this compactness, holding on to, oh, this is a man, this is a woman, this is a being, all kind of greed, anger, delusion arise because of the illusion of wrong view. So if you want to understand, this is important because naturally when the mind sees thus, the Buddha said, nibbida arises. We will have disenchantment and dispassion, viraga. And seeing arises. Eventually the true deep letting go will arise, and then the mind will turn away from this sankhara, arising and passing away of formations, and then towards the unconditioned state of Nibbana. So like that. So it is good, it's a congratulation that you care about meditation, you care about knowing the teaching of the Buddha. And also because people who meditate are people who don't want to rely on faith alone. Faith is very useful for Dhamma, but people who meditate, they are not satisfied with faith. Meditators, they want to switch, upgrade their faith to the point of seeing confidence. If you see the reality, you don't believe, you know. Just like when someone asked Venerable Sariputta, do you believe in the Buddha's teaching? He said, no, I don't go by belief. Then the person said, oh, very good. Even the Venerable Sariputta, the chief disciple of the Buddha, did not believe the Buddha. Then he said, no, not that I don't believe the Buddha. I don't go by belief. Because I know what was taught by the Buddha as correct. I know, not go by belief. Even in Kalama Sutta, the Buddha suggested 10 ways you should not go by knowing, by hearsay, by scriptures, by the reasoning, 4 kinds of reasoning, not by this teacher is very powerful or this is my teacher. You go by Attana Janayata. You know it for yourself. This is the truth. So you see in the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, the discourse of turning the wheel of the Dhamma, what the Buddha said. The Buddha said, now Kondanya he has gone to a stage that he no longer depends on anybody in the world for the Dhamma. How wonderful it is. That means he is independent in the Dhamma. So this is the thing. So meditators, I'm very happy when I come to this group, the happy meditation club. All are meditators. Very good. Meditators, they are never satisfied with belief. Never. Belief is good. You have some faith in the Buddha. It's okay, it's good. But it's never enough. Never enough. So we want to, because the Buddha is never meant his teaching, including Abhidhamma. At one time I told including Abhidhamma, he didn't teach it for belief. He taught all these teaching for us to realize. At one time I asked Pao Xiaodoji, I said, Xiaodo, my teacher told me, my former teacher told me, I was very grateful to all my previous teachers, whoever, whether it's a Mahayana teacher or Theravada teacher. I was very grateful for all of them, every one of them. So I said, my teacher told me, this Abhidhamma stuff is not possible for us to know. It's only the Buddha knew himself, but we are not able to see. So it's not possible for us to see. You know what Sayadaw answered me? He just said, the Buddha taught his teaching to be realized by the disciple. One sentence answer by Sayadaw. And I said, oh, yes, surely, if assuming, who will, as a Buddha, Sammasambuddha himself, why should he teach something that it is far away from us that we cannot realize? He taught me all those for disciples to realize. So you should have confidence that all the teaching of the Buddha, Four Noble Truths, about rebirth, about cause effect, karma vipaka, everything given in the suttas can be realized if only we make the right effort taught by the Buddha. So now, meditators, all of you are meditators, should not be satisfied, just like that. At one time when I was in the universities, I came to know meditation in my first year. A little before first year also, before I entered university, I learned a little bit. But seriously started the learning is actually in my first year. It's a fresh year. I went during the holidays to a meditation center. Then I meditated. Then I started to, because when the teacher taught about Four Noble Truths, I felt very inspired. Very inspired. Then in the second year, I started to reflect very seriously about life. Very seriously. I studied law. I planned to be a politician. But in the second year, then I thought, if I want to help my country, I want to help the world, what is the best thing I should do? Then these chances that people can make serious mistakes if we are not wise, and we may end up leading the blind. I have this kind of desire not for power. I really thought I want to be a good person, a good politician to help people. I read about Abraham Lincoln, I read about Mahatma Gandhi. They were great politicians, And then I asked myself, what would I do for my life if there is no rebirth, no future life, no next life, no cause and effect? Then I came to the conclusion, if there is no future life, if there is only one life and no cause and effect, definitely I will do differently. I would just want to enjoy to the best of my capability. I want to enjoy, and I don't want to earn unnecessary money. I only want to earn enough for my enjoyment in that life and finish. If this is the only life I live. But if, assuming the Buddha's teaching were true, I said, no, I'm not going to do that. If there is a future life, there will be a future life for me and for others. And there is actually cause and effect. Then I think I will plan my life differently. Very differently. No matter what hardship I need, I want to live a good life so that not only I'm good now, I want to be good in my future also. So that thought which arose in my mind was a very decisive one. It made me really reflect about life. Then I say, I should try to notice first. If how good it is, if I can know and make sure. At that time, I really have that kind of spirit of Kalama Sutta. I didn't take the suttas for it just like that. I didn't take the Buddha's words just like that. No, for me it's very difficult, just to put in my whole life so much just because of belief. How do I know? I might have believed the wrong thing. The Christian also believe something, the Muslim also believe something, and Buddhists also believe. We all believe different things. Who knows whose belief is more correct? You never know. But the Buddha supposed, after the meditation practice, I started to realize that there's a way, we can prove something of the Buddha's teaching. Then I decided I should give myself a chance while I'm still young to prove something. If I can prove, then I'll look at my life differently and plan my life differently. So I thought this thing should come first before I start anything major journey or mission. So this is very important. Ask yourself. Many people are trying to be safe. To be safe is okay. I enjoy my own life, sensual desire, whatever. At the same time, I get some insurance. I do good, perform dana. So that if there is a future life, okay, I also do good. I'm not so bad a person. So if I have no future life, okay, no problem. I still enjoy life. But to me, it's not like that. I want to do something more. If there's actually a future life, I want to do a lot, not a little good. I want to ensure, I want to have some security, for future. So, I am very thankful for that thought. With that thought, immediately after graduation, even before the exam came out, I already decided to walk that journey. And as a result, I managed to help my own father and mother. And my mother practiced very well. And before she passed away, she already knew where she would be reborn. And she was very sure of her future. Then I thought I've done the best I could possibly do for my mother. And for my father, he did not practice hard, but I took care of him 3.5 years before he passed away in my monastery. And he changed a lot. He did a lot of wrong view change. He did a lot of good and a lot of offerings to the Sangha. And he lived in a community where everyone speaks Dhamma. So I thought, luckily in my university days, I made that decision to inquire, to prove the Buddha's teaching, to find out about the Buddha's teaching. Then I realized how important it is. How important it is for our life that we can know. If we can know more about life, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. The way you look at life will be very, very different. So whenever I meet yogis, meditators who strive hard, who make great effort to purify themselves, I also feel very happy for you that you are on this journey and trying to verify the Buddha's teaching, to prove it yourself, and to practice until you can, you no longer rely on belief, on faith in the Buddha's teaching. That's very wonderful. Actually, only in the Buddha's teaching we find such thing. In all other religions I find the world, they only talk about belief. You just have to believe and believe and believe. It is also good for people who can have that kind of faith. I also admire that, but I think it is not sufficient. Sometimes certain incidents happen in life, their faith may be shattered. And what we see, even people take a knife and cut off our head, you cannot shake what you see. I don't know. Suppose someone come around and take a knife and cut off your head and try to make you disbelieve there is a sun and moon and stars in our world, in the sky. Will you believe it? No, people can kill you, but to disbelieve what you have seen for yourself is not possible. Not possible. So in the same way, if we can, through our meditation effort, our sila samadhi panya, we can be assured and no doubt about life, about the truth of life, that will be wonderful. There will be a kind of protection. And if we meet the people who teach the wrong view, whatever, you know so surely, then you cannot be misguided. Yes, that is a kind of protection for us in the whatever journey left for you, you still can protection. So what else? So it's just a simple sharing. I'm waiting for you to ask questions. Because you don't ask questions, I just keep telling one after another. But I think this is not so interesting. Better is if you have anything, questions you want to ask, you ask. Yes, better. Any sister want to ask any question? Brother? Okay, yes.
You were talking about the five skandhas and the understanding of the mind, if you will, or the human psyche.
Human what?
The psyche.
Psyche. Okay.
So now we have, in some many ways, different understanding of the psyche and such. So I was wondering, how should we approach those? Should we try to kind of shape them around the Buddhist understanding, or should we try to see in those understanding like the emptiness of the modern understanding as well?
You see, realities are there for us to see. Whether we should believe in Isaac Newton or not, but gravity is there for us to prove. You know? We can develop deeper and deeper understanding of gravity using scientific experiment or whatever, you know. In fact, modern scientists, they know better than Isaac Newton about gravity. You know? So, our approach is to train our mind like a way a scientist sharpen their tools of experiment. So our mind is our tool that we can use for this mind experiment until we see what is there for us to see. What is there for us to see? Internal and external, past, present and future. This kind. Just know this, our materiality and mentality. It's there. It cannot run away from you. It's there. So our job is just to sharpen our mind as much as we can and see as detailed as we can. We don't need to shape, we don't shape our wisdom according to anybody's. No, we don't shape our wisdom. No, we don't shape our wisdom. We just train and sharpen our mind so that our mind can see the realities as they really are. And the seeing mind is the wisdom. There are three types of wisdom: Sutta-maya panya, hearing wisdom; Cinta-maya panya, reflection, reasoning. But reasoning is not the way we can count on. The Buddha in Kalama Sutta, Okesamuti Sutta, the Buddha said, do not go by reasoning, pondering away with thought, inference, whatever. 4 ways of my mental action, thinking. Don't go by that. That means Cinta-maya panya also not conclusive for wisdom. If you want to have a conclusive wisdom, to be that sure, for example, your understanding about rebirth, about cause and effect, about non-self. Scholars are asking, non-self, who is being reborn? They find this conflict on words, but not realization. Realization, there's no conflict at all. There's no paradox at all. Yes, there's no self, but beings are being reborn without self. There's completely no conflict, no paradox at all, if people seize the process of rebirth. So which is better? We shape our thinking, or we allow ourselves to see the realities, the truth, face to face, directly, without believing in anybody, any scholars, any reasoning. No.
you'll find a lot of scholars argue about this. There's no self. Who is being reborn? Jataka story is wrong. Yeah. That's talking about self. They don't understand. Because this is not a realm, this area is not for Chintamaya Panya. This area is for Bhavanamaya Panya. So our job is to cultivate Sila, Samadhi, and Panya. Sila, Samadhi, Panya. Samadhi, if your Samadhi is sufficient, then you just apply this sufficient, this Samadhi, to your materiality, to your feelings, deeper, arising moment to moment, arising and passing away of it. Perception, volitional formations, and consciousness, and the thought processes. So if you can go to that extent, then you don't need to believe anybody. You don't need to go by this. You don't need to shape your thinking. We are not shaping our wisdom. We are just making our mind so pure, so blank, or so blank, clear. Then take on the reality with a very clear mind. And that is the wisdom. Not I try to cultivate a non-self wisdom. No. You don't cultivate a non-self wisdom by shaping. No. You just allow your mind to encounter the non-self reality, the dependent origination reality, the rebirth reality, and the Nibbana reality. No. Not by believing, or you don't need to. That's why it's not about conditioning our mind. It is about training the mind to see reality. It's not, you cannot condition the mind to think this way or think that way. That is for lower level. For example, you condition the mind to have a wise attention to things. Yoniso Manasikara. Yes, you can condition. But eventually, when it comes to reality, what the Buddha said in the Dhamma Sutta, the Buddha said, Yatha Bhutang Jnana Dasana. The Buddha said it twice in Dhamma Sutta. The Buddha said in Anatalakana Sutta, and many all other sutta in a similar way, like Anatalakana Sutta, Yatha Bhutang Sama Panyaya Gataba. Again and again the Buddha repeat that. And in Kalama Sutta, Attanava Janiyata. When you know for yourself, again and again the Buddha said, he never said influence and thinking and reflection and shaping. The Buddha said, know by your direct wisdom. Yeah. So it is no need to worry. There are various people who present the ideas about non-self this way, and another scholar present another way. We are not, meditators are not troubled by that. Only people who go by belief, they are troubled. People who go by experiment and experiential wisdom, Bhavanamaya Panya, we are not troubled. Because we don't accept just something like that, just because it makes sense to us. No. Even if it makes sense, it is not conclusive, according to Kalama Sutta or Kesamati Sutta. It's not conclusive. It is only conclusive when you see them as they really are with knowledge and vision. Knowledge and vision according to reality, or seeing things as they really are with wisdom. It means the same thing. Yatha Bhutam Jnana Dasana. So no need to shape your wisdom. Just allow yourself to see things. That is wisdom already. For example, you see this. Is there a snake under the table? Or is it a rope under the table? You are not sure. So because it's a bit dark. Okay, under the table is dark. Is there a snake or is it a rope? If you think it is a snake, you think it is a rope, then you go and catch it, then you can be done. If it's a rope, you think it's a snake, you get fear unnecessarily. So, should I shape my wisdom, my knowledge, by thinking that it is a snake or is it a rope? No, it's not about shaping. It's about trying to find out and prove it by itself. Maybe take a torchlight, shine on it, something like that, so that you can see clearly. That's the way. Because reality is reality. It's not because my willful thinking about it, then it can change. No. By thinking that, I want to shape myself, No rebirth, there's only one life. But it doesn't make a difference in terms of reality. So we try to see reality as they really are. Yatha Bhutam. As they are. Okay. So, next, any question? So, no? Very good.
When they have questions, many of our friends, they try their best to practice to walk on this Noble Eightfold Path, but they are also very busy with their worldly life. And what would you suggest in terms of, also some friends, they are not busy, they are retired, but they don't see the sense of urgency, perhaps because Samvega hasn't arisen in their mind. What would Bhante advise in terms of how they should practice? Because they have expressed that they feel they have time. Now they retire. It's good to enjoy life first.
Yeah, but they don't know when they die. So see, there are four types of horses. The Buddha said. But basically, it means some kind of horses is they see the whip, the whip of the owner, then they quickly run. Some they have to wait for the whip to whip on them, only they run. Some they even kill them, they will run. So we can't help. Yeah, we can't help. Sometimes we try to encourage and let people see, but sometimes they don't. So recently, when I brought pilgrimage group, so in the Ganges, I purposely arranged a Ganges River travel. Early in the morning they go and see people burning the corpse. But I was a bit disappointed because they put it too far. When I went to Rishikesh, I saw with myself so clearly, as close as I want, people burning the corpse. So I've seen it many times, and very clearly, Tibet also, the corpse are eaten up by the birds. So these are the experiences. Sometimes people will get closer impact. If still cannot, what can I do? They have to wait until they fall down and they say, why me? Why me? Some people are like that. You cannot help it. You want to enjoy. Even recently also, I asked in Los Angeles, I asked them, what is your aim in life? Only one person say, I want Nibbana. The rest is, I want this, I want that. But back in Malaysia, more people, among the devotees, if I ask what do you want, very briefly they will just say, well, I want to realize at least first stage of sainthood, I hope this life. Most of my devotees are there. But in America, maybe life is too good, I don't know. Is it? Life is too sweet for you. So you don't want Nibbana? You want to enjoy life? No, yeah. People told me, keep telling me, in America, this is so common. So maybe, that's why I can understand maybe even in the heavenly realm, the below the Brahma, the highest two realms which have most precious, the Bodhisattva don't go there. The Bodhisattva go to Tusita only. Tusita is the counting from top, is number 3. So similarly in human realm also, in the most best in material comfort, spirituality, especially for this Dhamma, to practice to see suffering is less. But in a place which is too bad, like Africa, also difficult when people are hungry, they cannot think about Dhamma. So Dhamma is in somewhere in between. Just like easier for the Buddha to show about old age, sickness and death, in human realm. All Buddhas became Buddha in human realm, not in Brahma. Even though Brahma's mind is much brighter, heavenly, the celestial beings, their mind is much sharper and clearer and purer, but not easy. So it's easier to show truth in human realm. So it's easier to show truth in a place which is not too affluent, somewhere in between. And not the best, not the most sensual precious place, and not the worst hell being. They cannot somewhere in between. The human realm is best, so in that sense. And even in human realm also, those who live in great luxuries, it's not easy. And those who live in great poverty, also very difficult to grasp the Dhamma, generally. So the biggest number is actually in those in between. In between, yeah. So if they think life is too fortunate for them, they cannot see pain, in the surrounding, what to do? Yeah. People hide their suffering. Yeah. Try to bring them to do some maybe charity service and give some service to the sick people and to the old folks home. Maybe people can see a little bit. If cannot, too bad. I know many people they don't want to go to India. They say, oh, India, Lord. But I think India is good. You see a reality. You come from India? No? Brother? Born here?
Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka. Okay, Sri Lanka. No Indians. You came from Sri Lanka, born in Sri Lanka.
Born in Sri Lanka.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah, sister.
We just came back from India.
Oh, you just came back from India. Okay, good. Pilgrimage? You went for pilgrimage?
Yeah, we went for a pilgrimage.
Oh, okay, good.
Life is very hard there.
Yes,
A lot of
yes,
people suffer.
yes. That's why in India it is quite much easier for me to speak Dhamma. When I say, oh, greed is no good, anger is no good, delusion is no good, everyone agree. I don't need to tell them why greed is no good, why anger is no good. Very easy for them to understand. You're oppressed by greedy feeling, not getting what you want, is very difficult. But if I go to modern society, I say greed is no good. They say, why greed is no good? Greed is good because of greed. I work so hard, I earn money. People are not greedy, are lazy. They say like that. The anger is no good. So anger is good. Napoleon, he used his anger to tame his enemy. When he want to sign a treaty and he want to win over his enemy, he would just slash on the table, bounce on it, and shout, and then until the person feel afraid. Okay, sign. So they take advantage of their anger. People think you must vanish your anger, you must voice out. This is a modern idea. They don't talk about tolerance and patience anymore. Of course, the tolerance we don't mean to suppress. It means the tolerance means accepting and forgiving. That is the tolerance we have to cultivate. But people don't. So, I don't know. India, I find, because there are suffering, obvious to everyone, so sometimes it makes certain people wise and work very hard. Spiritual, yeah. I think in Nepal, India, if they meditate, people they have a good potential. They understand suffering. People have suffering, but we conceal their suffering, and pretend not to suffer. Pretend. It is also not really wrong, because if you have no answer, or you pronounce answer in America, out. Why talk about suffering? We should not. You waste your time talking about suffering if you don't get a way out. The Buddha didn't talk so much about suffering until he found a way out of suffering, cessation of suffering, in the path leading to the cessation of suffering. Then the Buddha talked about suffering, origin of suffering, cessation of suffering, and the path leading to the cessation of suffering. So sometimes we can understand why people want to conceal from suffering, conceal their suffering. I think I can understand, because they don't find other better way. So this is a way you can suffer less. But for us it's different. The Buddha teaches a way whereby we can see suffering, can penetrate suffering deeply, and because of that penetration, your suffering lessen so much more. So there's one kind of happiness by shunning, avoiding suffering. The other one is facing the suffering a reality as it is and feel happy about it. That is a wonder. For example, Asubha training, one of in the Mahasatipatthana Sutta, there are 9 similitude training, corps, different level of corps. You take that as an object and you can enter into first jhana. When you enter into first jhana of taking that corps as object. What is first jhana? When you get, Vitaka Vichara Piti Sukha Ekagata, an initial application of thought, sustained application of thought, rapture, sometimes translate joy, I don't know how people use the translation piti, happiness feeling, and one-pointedness. So you see, you have a good feeling, you have good state, happy state there, taking the corpse as object. This is brilliance, And in the karuna training, karuna, when you practice karuna, compassion to people, object is always suffering or the cause of suffering. Either this person is evil or suffering. So you can practice compassion, and because of that you feel so refreshed and energized. Because of your compassion, you can enter first jhana, second jhana, third jhana with compassion training. And then you can practice vipassana training, taking anicca, dukkha, anatta, impermanent suffering, non-self, and while doing that, you have a lot of peace and happiness and joy. Because of a penetration of reality, of seeing rebirth, of seeing how the past causes produce present result, and present causes produce future result. You can derive so much happiness from this seeing of suffering and origin of suffering. So this is wonder. So the happiness, shown to us by the Buddha is superior. Why? Our ordinary secular kind of happiness is you try to take the happy object and avoid the reality. But the Buddha's happiness is you can take whatever reality, then you can be happy because of good understanding of it, good insight of it. That is wonderful. In fact, those happiness is superior and higher, and it cannot be taken away easily by people. So you see a lot. I'm sure you'll cherish your life and opportunity more after Indian trip, right? Definitely. Okay. So give yourself a chance to meditate more. And if you have a chance, at least allow yourself once in a lifetime, shave your head, be a brahmachari for 7 days, 10 days, men and women. Yes. I told all of my students, at least be a monk or nun once in a lifetime. At least if you cannot be permanent, never mind. But at least once in a lifetime, you should try. Plant a seed of renunciation and karma parani in your life once. Anyone have done that? Put up your hands. One. You have done that. Okay. Anyone? Okay, good. Yeah, in Sri Lanka, all children. No. We don't do that. But in Burma and Thailand, all children have done that before. It's very good. Sadhu. If you have done it once, do it twice. 3 times. Do more. Plant the seed. I did that 4 times. 2 times as Samanera, 2 times as Bhikkhus, and this is my 5th time. The 5th time is no more. I said, enough. Don't want to change it. But plant the seed, because of the first effort, the second effort, the third effort, the 4th effort, then the parami accumulate. At the beginning, it was too difficult. I couldn't imagine I could possibly become a monk. I could not, even though I aspired for it in my university days, but it was too hard. For my condition, my background is not easy for me to let go. It's not easy. That time, very hard. but I managed by every time I ordained temporarily, and I made aspiration with this marriage, may my marriage of renunciation ripen as early as I can. So I made that aspiration. Again, the second time I made aspiration. Then the third time I made aspiration. The fourth time I made aspiration. Then the fifth time, everything, okay, the condition was right. So sometimes it was too difficult. At that time, nobody believed. If I say I wanted to become a monk, people would not believe it. People would say, well, how? Not easy. And I made a promise of marriage, this kind of thing, But eventually, my promise was released, things like that. Not easy. So near to getting bound. So anyway, try do what you can, do the best you can. This life is precious. Meeting the Buddha's teaching is precious.
Bhante, you mentioned that at least once a lifetime ordained.
Yeah.
What about for a woman? It's very difficult for them to shave the hair off. Can they?
What is so difficult to grow? What's so difficult? Hair can grow. It's not ungrowable.
Because I hear many stories from them. So can they? Because in Thailand it's very common. They wear white shirt, white pant, and they take the 8 precepts. But I think it's more. What you meant is they have to shave off the hair, even for a woman. Not just 8 precepts can keep it.
10 precepts.
10 precepts.
10 precepts.
Oh, yes.
To really, at least, even though we don't have Bhikkhuni system, but at least isi papancha. Isi papancha is an ordination, like the renunciation of Pachika Buddha and Bodhisattva those days, in the ancient time.
So they have to shave the hair off at least once a lifetime.
Yeah. How can you say I have a nekama renunciation, if you still keep this, I don't want to let go. You don't get really the power letting go, you should let go briefly.
I'm just saying this because I want to encourage them to shave their hair.
Don't worry, I know some people say, they may lose their boyfriend. I tell you, if a man really loves you, they will love you even when you're bored, if after you get bored. That is true love, No, you see, in our community, it's so common. Sometimes, it's a whole family, husband and wife and 2 kids, all shave together and take a family photo. It's a matter of how you make it, getting used to it. If you get used to it, after a job, sometimes they don't. Get your the man, your partner to join you and shave together. That's the best.
Monday, on that note, we have some of our members, they do have the aspiration to take temporary ordination, the female, but their partner, especially their spouse, does not allow them to. It's not supportive at all.
Yeah.
In that situation, what can they do to, increase their parami that it will make it, easy for them to take on the road one day?
Just aspire. Sometimes after some aspiration, sometimes, even the man says very sure, after some time he change mind. Then after some time he may realize that, if he really love, that love should withstand, seeing the wife shaving after coming back. Things like that, He may have a deeper insight into love, Yes. If you love someone, let's say the wife one day get cancer and have to shave off, the hair, let's say chemotherapy or whatever. You don't love your wife? No, sure. If a man who understands the deeper meaning of love, then, and if you shave and after that your husband still love you, you feel more secure. Isn't it so? Isn't it so? If a boyfriend can love the girlfriend even after the girlfriend shave off, then you feel more secure. But anyway, you don't need to take the risk. You have to, if you are in a relationship, talk nicely. No need to go by force, respect each other is good. If you say no, not ready, then don't force yourself, it's also no problem. And if you still want to stay in a relationship, good. Don't force. We are not encouraging you to force and screw up your private life. No, we don't need that. But if you make aspiration quietly, again and again, possible. Recently, there was one also in Hainan, China. She find it very difficult. I said, okay, you're afraid your husband will dump you. But I said, okay, I will get your husband to shave first. I get her husband to shave twice. Then I asked her husband, do you allow your wife to be a nun? He said, yes. So it's possible. Sometimes because of that experience, she thought it's not possible for the husband to be to get near to Dhamma at all. At first, because the husband is a businessman, every day thinking of money. But eventually, when I went to Hainan, she got her husband to drive me, in her Benz, Mercedes Benz, or very rich man, he drive. Then after some time association, he felt, hey, this monk was so friendly with me, Then he meditated a little bit. And end up having better parami than the wife. He could just meditate 4 hours, one shot, one session. We all very bright nimitta in front, Anapanasati. Then he started to feel, there's something there, in the spiritual life. Then he started to change. I still remember the first time he saw me. He looked at me like, with a lot of suspicion. Who is this guy? Shaven head, like something you can see the eyes is unfriendly. But I was not shaken. I said, I just be normal, metta for everybody. But after some time, this person could be so pious, and now and became a monk twice. Just recently one in Beijing, he became a monk. Second time. And first time he ran away after 5 days, from Malaysia. He's supposed to join 10 days monk group, 5 days left. Couldn't tolerate. And this time I called him, I said, please come again, you come again. This time, because the first time it's not with me, because I was not there. I said, no, I'll take care of you. Don't worry, I will take care of you. If you have any difficulty, I'm there to help you. So I said, come again, keep it. I said, you should win your confidence. Because if you run away 5 days, you will have no confidence about Maṅgala. Because it's a failure. I want you to have a success experience. So this time we complete the whole. Actually, 14 days? No, not 14 days. 10 days. Actually, exactly complete up to 10 days. Not easy. For where one time thought about money, and look down on spiritual man and look at the spiritual with great suspicion. What are you coming to do? You want money? You want something? It's a kind of idea. Eventually change. So then it is easier. I told the wife, next time you can, because husband already did it twice. So things like that. It can happen. A lot of this kind of magic happens, in my community, which is people say not possible. I just say, well, make aspiration. Aspiration is costless, right? It doesn't cost you a penny, Very easy. You just make aspiration. After you perform good marriage, make aspiration again and again, and hope for the good to happen. Wish for the best, but don't force yourself. No need to force your way. As a Buddhist, if you keep 5-8 precepts every week, during the Buddha's time, we keep every Uposatha day, But for nowadays, we follow the Western calendar. It doesn't matter about Uposatha. You keep maybe Sunday or Saturday, or day when you're off, from work, and keep 8 precepts. If you keep 8 precepts regularly, then this is cultivating a spiritual seed. It's kind of renunciation for lay people, because you have to renounce your dinner, you have to renounce your entertainment, you have to renounce your decoration, and you have to renounce your height, that kind of special bed or whatever to show your status. No. That's good. So with this kind of karma, good parami, or good marriage, then you make aspiration, then the aspiration. Renunciation parami is a very wonderful parami, out of the 10 parami. Is that because it put us in a position, in which we can whole day, all doing good, from morning to night. So it is a parami which give the great conditions for all other wonderful parami to ripen, to be cultivated. So renunciation is a nekama parami. It's very wonderful. I really appreciate, because of becoming a monk, I came to associate with a lot of wise teachers. I have a lot of opportunity. I get very close to them. I could serve them. I could learn from their wisdom. I could get my doubts clear because of close association with teachers. Because of this. So it is. So after you have done this, suddenly all other goods accumulate within short time, very fast. Of course, make sure you renounce correctly, properly. The people who renounce wrongly, you also, you go into community, spiritual community, you go into fighting with people, go into conflict with people, then of course, you create more bad karma. You should not do like that. So if you use your renunciation life wisely and correctly, you'll be very great, very wonderful. Morning and night, morning to night, all the waking hours, you'll be cultivating good things and at least striving to perfect yourself. So that's very wonderful.
Bhante, what about if you're on a 10-day meditation retreat? So you need to take 8 precepts in all 10 days. Does it consider renunciation?
Okay, a kind of partial. It is also good. Yeah, it's a kind of letting go. But actually renunciation involves a lot in your kaya viveka, chitta viveka, your mind, not only the body away from that. Yeah, in that sense, body away from that, and the mind you meditate. That's also true. But whatever that's dear to you, you hold it so dear, then you can let go. That is things which make you feel bound. That you can let go. That's renunciation. So that I would say renunciation is spirit, but not fully in the sort of body. So when you take the form, you wear the robes, and then you let go. That is closer. Renunciation karma. But that's also partial. Partial also very valuable. Very wonderful, very valuable. Partial. So.
But people when they renounce, they shave their head.
Yeah.
But with an intention that to accumulate merits. That would be a wrong intention.
What is wrong in the intention that accumulate merit? You are not greedy for merit. If you are greedy for merit, yes. If you are not greedy for merit, it's as good as I'm hungry, I need food. I'm wandering in the samsara, I need merit. It is a craving for merit that's a problem, not the merit, not the wanting the merit itself. We need to breathe, we breathe. I need fresh air, I need exercise, I do exercise. I need merit because in the round of birth and death, people without merit is very miserable. You want to go on a journey and you don't have sufficient requisites, money for you to go on a journey. It's very tough. You need the requisites. So wanting the requisites is not a problem. It is a greed for the requisites, that's a problem. So not a problem. We just take what we need. That's it. We should provide with ourselves whatever we need. We need a lot of things in the samsara to move on. Not the wrong intention. You want the good merits, you cultivate that. That's not the wrong intention. I know some people say, no, don't think so much about merits because they want to tell people, they want to show the contrast to people who have a lot of greed for merits, But to say that you want to overcome your greed for merits, it doesn't mean you should not allow yourself the aspiration to cultivate more merits. It's two different things. One is chanda, one is lobha, cetasika. Chanda can associate with pure mind and impure mind, translated as desire. So if it is associated with pure mind, then it's a pure desire. If it is associated with impure mind, it is impure desire. But that by itself is neutral. The desire by itself, the chanda by itself is neutral. But lobha is greed. So the Pali language is very precise. Very precise. One is akusala, cetasika, one is a neutral one. Yes, Brian.
How do we practice non-attachment when we're already attached to something? I mean, living in America have a high standard of living, and we always have a sense of wanting more.
You don't need to throw away your American living. You can live like that. The key is when you attach to something, let's say, because you don't see something higher. But when you see something higher, you can also possible for you to attach to something higher. But let's say if you talk about attachment to sensual pleasures, if you can experience happiness of jhana, then you know that is a peaceful happiness which is superior to that. Then the grip of a lower happiness will be less for you. But there's a big difference. Jhana happiness is happy when you create the cause, when you are performing it, or when you are having jhana, it is good, it is happy, but the result will be happy. But sensual desire kind of happiness is associated with greed, cetasika. It is happy when you experience it, but when the result is unhappy, disappointment or whatever. So you can uplift your happiness from the happiness which is happy now and suffering in future, to the happiness which is happy now and happy in future. So you let your mind be, one level of happiness be replaced by another level of happiness and another level. Let's say first jhana happiness is inferior to second jhana happiness. Second jhana happiness is inferior to third jhana happiness. And third jhana happiness is inferior to the fourth jhana, which has no happy feeling, it's equanimous. But you will know that that equanimous state of mind is actually superior, preferable to than the third jhana. So in that way you move on until vipassana happiness. Oh, happy vipassana happiness is better because you are facing reality and unshaken by reality, you feel happy. And until the asankata nibbana, the happiness of nibbana. So different, you move on from one level to another level. In this way you let go. Not by denying yourself outright. It will be too hard unless you are a hero. Some people can. During the Buddha's time, a lot of people, the moment they hear about the Dhamma, they can just dump all this. But modern days, I find people are more difficult to do it. So the best, easier way for them is to allow yourself to experience a higher happiness. And from higher happiness, you move on to higher happiness, like climbing the ladder. You hold on to this, you let go. Then you hold on to this one you let go. So in this way. So this is one way. But this is not good enough, not ultimate. Eventually, the better way to overcome attachment is to see reality, anicca, dukkha, anatta, of the five aggregates of clinging. The materiality, feeling, perception, volitional formations, and consciousness. Or another way is to see the reality of seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, and knowing. Know this process in great details to the point of ultimate realities. Yes. So there are many ways the Buddha taught to see realities, but the point is that you have to see ultimate realities as they really are, and their causes, which is dependent on origination. So if you have this first noble truth and second noble truth, if you can see it thoroughly, then you stand a good chance to realize the third noble truth, cessation of suffering and their causes. The way to see the third Noble Truth is to penetrate the first and second Noble Truth enough and thoroughly. And the way to train for it is the fourth Noble Truth, which is Noble Eightfold Path. Sila, Samadhi, Panya. More virtues, concentration, and wisdom. So, it is not by sheer force. You force yourself, you suppress yourself, it's too hard, and sometimes it bounces back even stronger. You know, the Buddha taught us a very systematic way and very. In fact, the journey can be very happy one. You know, some people say, "Oh, Bhante, you become a monk. I see you sacrifice so much, you know, to walk the path of the Buddha." I say, "Who is sacrificing more?" You know, to me, this is the best way. You know, the best way. In fact, monk life and nun life is not necessarily hard. It is hard only when you don't want to let go. You know. In fact, I can say I'm happier than most people that I know out there. You know? Yes, it's true. You know. So if you have that, you find another level of happiness, then the grip of a lower happiness is less on you. So right now, it doesn't matter. You stay in America, you still meditate, but one day you find that all these sensual pleasures doesn't give you that much happiness compared to the Brahma happiness. Jhana is Brahma happiness. And then from there, we get a higher happiness. We move from one level to another level. Okay. Did I answer your question?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
But we have to be aware of craving for more for superior feeling.
Now that's one way, but another way is to see the craving by itself. If you can see the arising and passing away of craving as the moment to moment, you know, moment to moment. And that craving, you can break down the compactness of craving. You know, generally people just know craving as craving. If you can see the craving thought process, and then in that each jhavana or each consciousness of which that you crave, you know, you have a lot of mental states. It's not only one craving, one solid lump. No, it's not. Then you break down the sammohagana, compactness of grouping, because you see as a one big group, as man, woman, whatever, you know. And then this is my mind, my craving mind. But you see, actually it's not one mind, it's consciousness. Then you break down the compactness, consciousness and mental states, all the various types of it. Then you break down the sammohagana, the compactness of grouping. And then if you can see the moment to moment arising and passing away, each and every consciousness and each and every these consciousness and mental states arising and passing away in fast succession, one after another. Then you break down santatigana, the compactness of continuity. Oh, the same, oh, this is myself, this is the same person. You break down that. And then there are two more to break down, kichagana and aramanagana. So you go deeper and deeper level. For example, if you see up to that point, you know, you can think, oh, this is my mind which is craving, whatever. Actually, craving is the function of the lobha cetasika. It is not all the mind that crave. It is the lobha cetasika that produces holding on to things. It is the greed mental state that function like that. You know, especially you have to break down the details of the characteristic function, manifestation, approximate cause of this. You know, you do this practice, we call the lakkhana training. Then after that, if you can do that, it is possible. If you have concentration, it is not difficult. Without concentration, it's inconceivable, unthinkable. But if you have concentration, this can be done. There's a science of it. Then after that, you break down this kichagana, the compactness of function. You think the function is done by one, but actually function is done by that particular mental state only. And then you may still have a sense of, oh, I am experiencing non-self, how wonderful, I experience. The sense of I, the pride arise. Then what to do about it? You look at the path of purification, we call that arupa sataka practice, immaterial septet. One of the practices, the vipassana practice, is to see, for example, you see anicca dukkha anatta, the wisdom of seeing anicca dukkha anatta, you may think it is I am seeing. Then take that wisdom, the wisdom consciousness, the thought process, and dissect and experience the nature of this wisdom. Then you break down the three compactness of this wisdom. That wisdom, that seeing itself, you break it down. Oh, you experience. Then you may have another wisdom. Oh, this is the deeper self. Take that wisdom again. The next present mind observing the past mind, one after another. When we say we observe the mind never observes itself. The mind always observes the previous mind only. Previous or some mind cannot observe itself, just like our eye cannot see our own eye. Our eye cannot see our own eye. Our mind cannot see itself. The mind can only see another mind. The mind that arises itself, it cannot turn and look at itself. It's not possible. Not possible. So it's very fast. The mind takes another mind as object. So in this way, so when you see the previous wisdom, thought process, during this vipassana part of practice, this is the practice when the Buddha suffer pain, he used this practice and determination and suppress his pain. This is very deep practice. It's very powerful. Then again and again you do like that, 1 round, 2 rounds, 3 rounds. Then you notice that even the wisdom, you believe, you feel this wisdom that see anicca dukkha anatta, this wisdom itself is also anicca dukkha anatta. Then the deeper pride gets shattered because it penetrates. You look at it, you want to read about it in the Visuddhimagga, it is mentioned. And this is possible to practice. My mother, before she passed away, she did this. She was lying down, she couldn't sit up. She was lying down there. Then I was concerned, whether she could actually keep her mind clear. She didn't take any morphine, whatever. No, she got what we call it, stomach, the cancer. I said no. Then I asked her, can you do vipassana? She said yes. Can you do arupa sataka? She said yes. Then I felt okay, settled. Because at that level of sickness, her mind was so clear and sharp enough to do arupa sataka practice. That is very powerful. I was very confident. I don't need to worry. She knows how to take care of her last moment. So this is a practice. This is what my mother did before she passed away. Arupa sataka. She didn't study much. My mother only studied 4 years only. But she's a very simple woman. But when the teacher gave instruction, she was very faithful, very devoted, and very simple person, old lady. Just follow instruction. And step by step, she went through the training. So this is a bit. So then the attachment, the sensual desire, is slowly gets superseded by higher, another superior state. Eventually you will realize that even superior state is only a state. It's nothing to be craved. Even superior state is not meant to be craved. But we need that superior state in order to penetrate reality. If the mind is in lower power, then it would not have the ability to penetrate so much. Read up the path of purification. I will encourage you all. Read up, then you go through all the 7 purifications. It's very wonderful. This is a very great, writing about the teaching. It's like composed, everything is put together in a nutshell.
What is it called
the path, P-A-T-H, the path of purification. In Pali means Visuddhi Magga. You can check immediately, you can on your phone, you know. Yeah, just you key in the path of purification, you Google it, and you get the PDF version, you just download, you can read. But you can't read on your phone, you have to read at least on the computer. It's free, you can get.
It's so difficult to understand, Bhante. I guess maybe only from nuns and monks who have been trained in a certain level to understand it.
But my mother understands. Without reading it, my mother understood this without reading it. You know why? Because she went by seeing, not by reading and memorizing. So to read is just to have an overview only. Actually, it is not that difficult. The most difficult thing is, concentration. You see, the most difficult practice is actually first jhana. Because before first jhana, you always have nivarana, the 5 hindrances, sensual pleasures, sensual desire, ill will, sloth and torpor, restlessness and remorse, and vijikicha, the doubt. So because of this, most people's meditation is actually inefficient. Why inefficient? Because halfway you meditate, these defilements come up. Meditate, defilement. But once a person, you manage to overcome up to first jhana, or at least access concentration, but access concentration is not easy to master. That's why usually we don't let our students stop in access concentration. Because since they are at the door of jhana, why not just one step further? Maybe 1 week or a few days later, they enter jhana. So usually I don't teach up to access. Because from access to jhana is so close already. One step away from jhana. So might as well just let them practice jhana. So once they get jhana, from that time onwards, your meditation becomes highly efficient. You know what is jhana? Jhana, you mean the thought process. If you know Abhidhamma, the thought process is jhana. Jhana is the consciousness that creates karma. It's not the vipaka consciousness, not vipaka citta, it's a karma citta, jhana. Usually our thought process, we have 7 jhana at the most. After that you have the resultant consciousness. But after the jhana, once you get jhana, you have billions and billions of similar consciousness all piled up together without break. Without break, conscious. So because of this, the jhana consciousness one after another, then we have this power of, the patthana, asevana pachayo, repetition condition. Because of repetition condition, the consciousness becomes so powerful. One after another, when they repeat, the consciousness repeats itself, it becomes very powerful. That's why jhana makes wonders. Jhana can produce wonders because of this only. So because of this, then after that, your meditation becomes efficient. And from first jhana to fourth jhana, it may take you 2 weeks. If you are careful. People who are more brave, they may take just 1 week, or few days, or 1 day, 1 jhana, if they are confident. But people who are very careful students, they take 2 weeks. Very, very careful students.